resumes of our cast. You will have to read them in one of these publications that I'm sure you all have. I'm not going to attempt it for two reasons. Number one, it would probably take too long. Number two, I would probably omit some things that should be included. I have a tendency to do that. So let me first of all tell you who's playing whom. First of all, John Jensen is the announcer. John? We were going to have John announce into this band. We have limited stage space. There has to be some place for everything. I'd like you to welcome, please, the delightful Rosemary Rice playing Liz Cooper. Her husband is played by Dick Van Patten. Mr. Atterbury. These characters may mean nothing to you now. Wait until they start acting in the plot, and then you'll understand them. Many of you may remember Vacation from Marriage, which is the episode of My Favorite Husband that we're going to do for you today. But anyway, here is Mr. Atterbury. You know him as Grant Goody. You look a lot taller on television. Oh, well, wait a minute. It's because And here is the lady playing Iris, who is Mr. Atterbury's wife. And her name is Pat Prince. Seated over there by the keyboard and by the gentleman who is going to be playing it for our musical interludes is Chris McMillan, who is going to be playing a role that has two lines. But by golly, she's got them down. Chris? And that's her husband, Randy, if you don't know him. He's a fine musician. And we're lucky to be able to get him to play the music where it's called for in these scripts we do all the time. Then, let me tell you about the sound effects guy. I had the great pleasure of working with him on our own productions many, many, many times. I just wish that he weren't so busy now. You see, he's gotten so good that he doesn't have time for a little old imagination theater. I guess we don't pay enough. Anyway, that's Dave Pearson. And then finally, now is Bob Dolan here?
Yeah. Jim Dolan.
Jim Dolan. You see, remember what I told you? Got them all messed up. Well, where's Jim Dolan? He's in the other room. Oh, okay. But I know this guy, Bob Cardenas, over here. And one other little thing, I think, did you all, what?
Dave.
Oh, Dave. See what I told you? David Selvig is going to be playing the part of a bartender. I want you to know he is a dedicated actor. He has been out at a cocktail lounge rehearsing. I hope you enjoy this. We're certainly going to have a lot of fun doing it. Thanks for coming.
It's time for My Favorite Husband, starring Dick Van Patten and Rosemary Rice. Brought to you by the radio enthusiasts of Puget Sound and Imagination Theater. Yes, it's the lighthearted family series starring Dick Van Patten as George Cooper and Rosemary Rice as Liz Cooper. two people who live together and like it. We look in on the Coopers. It's morning and they're just getting dressed. Liz is sitting at her dressing table. She looks at George, then looks back in the mirror, and then looks at George again.
George, come over here by the mirror a minute.
Why? What for?
Well, I was reading an article in a magazine, and it said that when married people get too wrapped up in each other, they start to look alike.
Oh, come on, stop it.
No. Put your face down here by mine. George, I think we do look alike.
Hey, you're right, Liz. If I put my hair up in curlers and pluck my eyebrows, we would be twins.
George, this is serious. You know, if we look alike, it's a danger signal, and it means our marriage is getting stale.
Really?
Sure. We start looking alike and talking alike and thinking alike, and before you know it, what are we? We're one big colorless blob.
Well, I think we should do something to prevent it.
What?
Well, I'll dye my hair green and get tattooed all over.
Can you be serious?
Oh, Liz, that's a lot of nonsense. Looking alike and talking alike. My goodness.
Well, maybe you're right. I guess it is silly.
Breakfast is ready. It's on the table.
Oh, be right down, Johnny.
Katie. George, did you hear that? We're beginning to talk alike.
No, that was just a coincidence, honey. Forget it.
Well,
Better hurry. Things are getting cold.
Be there in 2 shakes of a lamb's tail.
Well, George, how does it feel to be half a blob? Well, let's face it, you and I are losing our individuality.
I know we are, but I can't help it. What can I do about it? I'm going to be exactly like you. You better tell me how to get my hair that color.
The same way you do now, only more henna. George, sit down.
Yes?
I hate to suggest this, but the article said that to remedy the situation, the husband and wife should spend more time away from each other.
What?
Well, spend evenings apart, even weekends. Develop outside interests. Well, that way you develop individual personalities and remain a person.
Oh, no, Liz.
George, starting right now, you and I aren't going to see as much of each other. All right?
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Well, all right. What's the matter? Why are you crying?
You don't love me.
Honey, you suggested that.
That's different. I didn't expect you to say yes.
All right. Then we won't do it.
We will too. It's a good idea, and we're going through with it. You can.
Oh, I give up.
Oh, I'll get it, Katie. It's probably the Atterberries.
Oh, hi, Iris. Hi, Iris. Hi, Atterbury.
Hey, Liz, George.
Hi, folks.
George
boy, this girl.
Won't you come in and sit down?
What's up?
Well, Liz read a magazine article.
Oh, too bad, boy.
Well, long as we're telling about it, and apparently we are, I read a wonderful article about how married couples get too wrapped up in each other and they lose their individuality and they start to look alike.
Oh, Gad.
Well, the article said that the only thing to do is to see less of your respective spouses, sort of a vacation from marriage.
Hey, that's a wonderful idea. Why don't we try it this weekend?
Okay, this weekend, the wives will take a holiday from the husband.
Now, wait a minute, just a minute.
No, don't fight it, boy. Relax and enjoy it. No. Remember, this also means the husbands get a holiday from the wives.
Oh, say, I never thought of that.
Neither did I.
You know, while the cats are away, the mice will play.
Do you think we made a mistake, Liz?
I don't know. I don't like the smile on my mouse's face.
I think they're going to declare this holiday illegal, George.
Oh, no, we're not. They're only trying to worry us, Iris. We have to do this for our own good.
Yeah. I'd rather lose him than look like him.
Is that so? Well, if a vacation from marriage is what you girls really want, I guess we can go along with it. Eh, George?
Yeah, we'll force ourselves.
Then it's all agreed. This weekend, Iris and I will pack our bags and go.
Agreed.
Oh, this is wonderful, Liz. You and I will find ourselves again.
Yeah. Only I hope I remember where I put me.
Friends, the radio enthusiasts of Puget Sound ask the question, do you hear voices? Most of us do. The good news is that the voices come from healthy places, the 1940s and 50s, and that's okay. That's because we're enjoying radio entertainment from the golden age of radio and right out of the extensive CD and cassette library of reps. Members have full access to thousands of hours of treasured memories and history. And there are events such as our Reps Radio Showcase in the summer, monthly meetings, and this Radio Memories program. These are times when we get to see many of those whose voices are in our heads and hearts. We think your therapist would approve. If you're not a member of the Radio Enthusiasts, we enthusiastically invite you to join. After all, our name says it. We're radio enthusiasts. By the way, not all of the voices in your head need to be from back then. Reps is thrilled to endorse and to enjoy the tremendous current radio work of Jim French's Imagination Theater. New radio drama is being created in an outstanding fashion and aired around the country. In the Seattle area, Imagination Theater is aired on KIXI 8 p.m. Saturday nights and Sunday nights. And the many shows are available on CD right here in the lobby and at the website harrynile.com. As we look in on the Coopers once again, it's the morning of the big break, and we find Liz and Iris just about ready to take off on their vacation from marriage.
Oh, well, Liz, we're on our way.
We're on our way. Imagine, Iris, 2 whole days with no husbands around.
Yeah.
Incidentally, Iris, where are we going?
I don't know, girl. Don't you?
No. I thought you had a reservation somewhere.
Well, I thought you did.
Well, we gotta go someplace.
Of course we do. We're all packed.
Oh, I know a cute little place not very far from here.
Good.
Your house. We'll go there, we'll talk it over, and we'll decide where to go.
Okay. I think I'll take the scenic route through the park. Now, Liz, if we're not leaving town, at least let's think of something to do tonight. We can't just sit here and look at each other.
Iris, what do you suppose the fellas are doing?
What fellas?
The fellas we're married to, who I hope are having a dull time as we are. But I doubt it.
Well, they did say they were going to have a wild bachelor weekend. They're probably having a party.
Ha, don't be ridiculous. You think they are?
Nah.
Iris.
So the phone's behind you on the table.
Thanks. Oh, what excuse shall I use for calling?
Remind them to put the garbage out.
Oh, that's right. I'll pretend to be the operator.
Oh, wouldn't you know the phone would ring just as we're getting ready to go to bed?
Well, now wait, it's probably the girls.
What, do you think so?
Well, it might be, and we can't let them know that we're in bed at 10 o'clock on a Saturday night.
That's true.
Hey, look, boy, we'll pretend we're having a big, wild party.
Oh, that's a good idea. What do we do?
You answer the phone and leave it up to me.
All right. Oh, hello?
Oh, they're home. I have a long-distance call from Mr. George Cooper.
Oh, yeah, this is George Cooper.
One moment, please. Go ahead, Blue Mountain Lodge.
a good time?
Oh, just wonderful.
Hail, the gang's all here.
Hey, come on, Ruthie! Get on that table and do that dance again.
What is going on there?
What's the matter?
Who's there with you, George? Do you have company?
Oh, no. We're just having a little stag party. A few of the fellas dropped over.
How about a kiss, Georgie?
Which of the fellas was that?
What's the matter, Liz?
Is Annabelle there, George?
Yeah, yes, he's here.
Here, let me talk to her.
Oh, Iris wants to talk to him.
Okay. Annabelle, put Trixie down and come to the phone.
Hello! Oh, is that you, Lotus Bud?
Yes, it is.
Guess what? I just learned to slide down the banister with a glass balance on my head.
Where are you, dear?
We're up in the mountains.
Are you very high?
Not half as high as you are.
Well, how do you like those bugs?
Then our backs are turned. They have a wild party with girls.
Yes. And you know what the worst thing of all? It was our idea.
Our idea? It was your idea.
Okay, it was my idea. But you said you liked it.
Well, I did then, but it stinks now. Oh, but you're right. We need each other.
Yeah, we're all we have left.
You know, every time I think about the good times they're having, I could cry.
Me too. Here we are having a vacation from marriage, and they have the nerve to enjoy it. Iris, there is no party. They were making the whole thing up.
Oh, you mean they were pretending to have a party?
Oh, sure they were, and we fell for it.
Oh, wait till I see that Rudolph.
Wait, Iris. We are going to get even. I got a foxy scheme.
What?
We're going to call up and pretend to be women.
What's so foxy about that?
I'll call up and disguise my voice, and we'll make a date with them. We'll arrange to meet her somewhere, and when they walk in, we'll be sitting there and having a big laugh on them. Can't you just see their faces? They walk in expecting to see two beautiful queens, and they find us instead. Now they don't answer.
Maybe they've gone out?
Hello?
Well, hello there.
Hello?
Could I speak to Liz, please?
Oh, she isn't here right now. She's gone out of town.
Shona? Oh, you poor little thing. Did I get you out of your little old bed?
No, that's all right. Could I give Liz a message for you?
Well, this is her friend Annabelle Culpepper, and I went to school with Liz, and I was hoping she'd show me the town tonight.
Well, I'm sorry, she is not home.
I'm just passing through on my way to Hollywood. You see, I'm a little old beauty contest winner.
Oh, really?
You might say I'm the Jane Russell of Memphis.
Well, say, listen, it is a shame that you don't have anybody to show you the town, right?
You just followed the bait, Iris.
Well, shut my mouth.
Hello, honey. My train goes out in the morning, and there's no point in going to bed. I thought maybe we all might sort of tie one on.
Well...
I don't suppose you know a big, handsome man who'd be interested in showing little old me around the town, do you now?
Well, you are a friend of Liz's.
Yeah.
So she would want me to take you around, right?
She would?
Well, I'd be glad to do it.
Well, that's awful kind of you, but you sure you aren't too sleepy?
Not now.
She's hooked, Iris.
See if he's got a big, wide-mouthed bass for me.
Say, Sugar.
Yes?
I got a friend named Cora Sue Periwinkle, and she's a real sugar pie. And you wouldn't have somebody for her, would you?
Well, I just happen to have a friend.
Well, look at it, child. We're down at the green room drinking mint juleps, and why don't you all come down?
Oh, yes, we'll be right there. But how will we know you?
I have a feeling once you walk in that room, you'll know us. We'll be at the bar.
Okay. See you soon, Annabelle.
All right, dear, you heard now, here. For a suit, that was as easy as taking cotton candy from a baby boll weevil. It was as easy. I think we've given them enough time to get there, don't you?
It's been almost 40 minutes. Oh, I can hardly wait to see their faces.
Well, shall we go in, Miss Periwinkle?
Well, after you, Miss Culpepper.
I don't see them.
I don't either. And the place is empty.
Well, I'll ask the bartender. Pardon me?
Yes, ma'am.
Have you seen two men around here who were looking for somebody?
Well, there were a couple of guys come in a few minutes ago. One was tall and blonde, and the other was short and pudgy.
Those are the ones.
Where are they?
Well, they picked up two dames who were sitting They left with them.
Which way did they go?
Who knows? Out into the street, out into the frosty night to be caught up in the dizzy world of metropolitan cafe society.
Oh, shut up. Let's go home.
Are they gone, Joe?
Yeah, they're going.
The coast is clear, George.
Oh, well, thanks a lot. Listen, here's the 5 that we promised you for telling in that story.
Thanks.
Which way did they go?
Who knows? Out into the night.
Shut up. Come on, George. We've had our laugh. We better go find the girls.
Yeah. Oh, there they are! Look. Could I take you home, Miss Culpepper?
Oh, George, you knew it all the time.
My arm, Miss Periwinkle.
Rudolph. George, I don't want to live separate lives anymore. I want to go home with you.
Don't forget, we might start looking like each other.
I don't care as long as we're together. I don't even care if we start looking like Pat and Jim friends.
My Favorite Husband was directed by Jim French and has been presented by the radio enthusiasts of Puget Sound and Imagination Theater. It has starred Dick Van Patten as George Cooper and Rosemary Rice as Liz Cooper. Grant Goody was Mr. Atterbury with Pat French as Iris Atterbury. Also in the cast were David Selvig and Chris McMillan. Music is under the supervision of Randy McMillan with the assistance of Chris McMillan. Sound effects have been created by David Person and engineered by Bob Cardenas and Jim Dolan. Your announcer is John Jensen. This is the Columbia Broadcasting System.
In the other room, they were talking about being married 51, 52 years. You remember that? I don't think they're going to make it with this routine. It is so good and so much fun to see them do what they do. Some of them professionally for many years, others who are just having fun doing it with them and being very professional. So one more time, thanks to the cast, the musicians, the sound, the engineering, the directing. Let them know how much you really enjoyed it.